Shall we just cold start? No entry thing, like just immediately.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Diddy.
No shit. I was gonna introduce ourselves first.
That's the start.
Oh fuck.
I thought that's what you meant.
No, I meant we are the 300 men.
Oh, right. Let's start with that. Okay.
We are the 300 men. I'm Jeffrey.
Oliver.
Duncan's still out, so it's just us again.
And we're getting right to it.
Yeah, Diddy.
Look, man.
Yeah, you introduce this one because you were right.
We don't have to go into it because the whole world knows, right? So the dude has been charged, right, with a number of things.
Good, like a whole document worth.
Yeah. So he's been charged by the Department of Justice, I think.
Yeah.
In New York, right? So he went to New York also to face the charges, and he's in holding now, and he applied for bail twice.
Oh yeah,
and it was rejected twice
because they deemed him a flight risk or something like that.
So to me, that's when I knew he was cooked. So I follow this part really well. So first he goes to New York and they arrest him at the hotel. All right.
Should we talk about what he's charged for to a degree? Or should I pull that up?
If you want to pull it up, but I know it's nasty stuff. I don't want to rip it. But obviously you got you have the sex trafficking.
Yeah.
I want to say money laundering, wire fraud is in there. And I want to say sex trafficking, money laundering, wire fraud. I think that's racketeering.
Yeah.
That's the one that stands out to me because whenever whenever you hear that word racketeering, it means you're going to prison. That's what it means. It means we need to put you in prison, and we're looking for a way to do it. So this is what we're doing. Because that's RICO. That's what it is. That's RICO.
Basically,
organized crime. Yeah.
The reason what I saw online is the reason why he's getting that charge is because he used his company in different states and presumably also different countries to have some of the other charges happen.
Exactly. And then it becomes a RICO charge.
Yeah. So
then it becomes racketeering.
But
then it becomes organized crime.
What I saw people let me say people online say is that it's weird because normally in RICO charges there's multiple people who get busted and taken. He's the only one in this case at this moment.
Exactly. That's the key term. At this moment. It's not, we don't see. Yeah. The thing is, when I said it, I called it. When Cassie came out and said all that stuff, I said, this dude's guilty. I believe all of it. Then when they raided his house, I said, it's over. They're going to take their sweet time. You see, I read the statistic. It's a different story when you're being charged by the government, especially the federal government, right? I think they have a conviction rate of like 95% or something like that.
Yeah, they don't miss.
When they come after you, it's over. They don't. They wait. And they said that the one in in New York, that department is even on like a whole another level. Yeah, like they really, when they come at you, it's over. They don't make mistakes. They make sure they have everything. So when they raided his house, I said they're gonna take their sweet time. We don't need to rush anything.
Oh, nothing.
But it's surprising that it didn't even take them that long. Because normally you would think it would take even longer. They went after him pretty fast. They raided his house like a couple months ago.
I assume they've been working on this for a while.
They must have had something already, but the Cassie thing was the thing. And all the civil suits is what spiraled it, which was early this year, though.
That was because a law somewhere in the U.S. or in the whole federal said the
statute of limitations is going to be lifted for a period and you could come and speak on what you've been through.
Yeah.
And that all the civil suits gave them information, gave them a place to look. It gave them especially, and now they went after him. And to me, the thing there's a couple things that tell me that this dude is really cooked. Number one, the fact that from a federal investigation perspective, this didn't take very long.
No,
you would really think it would take much longer. The fact that they're already arresting him means like the evidence must have just been flat out there when they went to his house. Where they say they have videos even of this dude, of what he's done. I don't know if you know that. They said they have actual videos that prove the shit.
Look, if you're accused of all that kind of shit, having, what were they called? Parties that were called freak-offs and everything, I assume you film your shit. Because you're a sick fuck. You want to watch your own freak-offs.
Well, the dude being a sick fuck is another conversation. But yeah, now that they caught him. And no bail. That was the first time he got no bail.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that was like an interim judge, so to speak, for lack of a better term, that said, we're not giving you bail. But then after that, it was the judge that's actually going to preside over this whole case.
Mm.
And they, that judge was just like, no, dude, you're not getting. And I remember because they looked at the defense of his lawyers, and they said something where because they were trying to say he's not dangerous, he's not a risk, he's not this and that, and it's really, they put up $50 million for bail. They said they would have security around his house all the time. They'll have police surveillance. They'll have a register where they log who comes in and out of the house. They'll not have. They said we'll do anything basically to make it that he doesn't have to go to prison. And the judge was just like, nah, dude.
It doesn't matter.
You need to go. That told me something. That told me like, no, they want you done. Like they're not giving you any room. Because someone else also explained, it was his lawyer who explained that because he's a high profile person, he's not in a regular prison.
No.
He's like in a special place called I think they said the security housing unit. The short term for it, SHU. And when someone is there, apparently, this guy explained, it's actually pretty hard for their lawyers to get to them. It's pretty hard to access them because it's a special place. So it's very difficult.
It's locked away from all the other shit.
Yeah, it's difficult to get to them and to prepare.
Special rules and shit.
But it also affects the degree to which you can prepare the defense.
Yeah, because you cannot talk, you cannot discuss, you cannot plot, plan, whatever.
It's difficult.
But they probably don't want him to plot and plan because that's how he got to all this shit.
They said if he gets out, they're afraid he'll talk to witnesses and try and get them not to.
He 100% will.
So they're really...
Bro, they saw the same video as we did. He beat the shit out of Cassie. Dude, so he would do that to anybody.
They brought that up in the court, and his defense tried to play it off like, oh, but that was something between two.
No.
That's what the judge said. The judge cut him off me. The judge said, no. We're not doing that.
No, we saw
the thing.
We saw that. We saw you also at Drink Champs trying to talk to people to tell them to come to your shit. We saw you with all these other people. We saw your history with Nick. No,
He's absolutely cooked.
No, you're done.
He's absolutely cooked. This is he's going to prison for a long. You're talking about. There's a couple of those that have like life sentences.
Yeah,
a couple of those charges. We're talking life sentences. I think the lowest for the things he's been charged is like 15 years.
Sheesh.
Like it's not. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. He's really cooked, and it's like, look, man, I don't feel sorry for him.
No,
the dude is foul, dude. He's doing it clearly. I don't see what the debate is.
In that sense as well, I do not feel any remorse, sorry, guilt, or
no, dude. Because I believed all. No. When the Cassie stuff came out, I believed all of it. Don't ask me why. Something about it. You know what it was with the Cassie thing? That was so. You know what it was with the Cassie thing? What? It was so detailed.
What got me? You're right. It was so detailed. What got me, and I think that's what you're getting to. She years or a while before said, "Yo, this happened exactly in these and these details," and then people did not believe it. Me to a degree as well. Like I thought, maybe we don't know. Like give us a little bit more. And then the video came out, word for word, action for action.
That was the big one. Yeah,
identical.
The video when she did the lawsuit, she explained that scene in the video. And then when the video came out, it was literally almost a play-by-play of exactly what she said. So it shows you like, okay, it's...
Yeah, no.
All that other shit is also true.
Yeah.
All that other shit is also true. She probably missed some stuff, to be honest.
Even if not everything of all that shit is true, because that one thing that she describes so well is true to that detail, everything else is brought into question. And you cannot assume that nothing of that is true.
Yeah, but even if not everything is true,
like something is
people
true.
Of his several of his bodyguards have come out and have said, "Listen, we were there, we saw the shit." Like, cooked. He's absolutely cooked.
And you know those people are coming out to try and protect themselves to a degree. Like, yo, you were there. Not that,
of course,
you could not always do something, but you were there. You could have been in the way. But this is all. Everybody who's coming out, or at least that's my assumption. Everybody who's coming out is trying to protect themselves in a little bit because you know that now it's a RICO. Anybody who works for him can basically be taken and be called part of that shit.
If you worked for him, yeah.
worked for him or with him.
Well, with
or made
RICO,
use
it's
of
mostly
services.
about RICO's mostly about the kingpins, right? So the RICO law was made because they had this issue where someone would go commit a murder, and then they could maybe arrest the person who committed the murder if they could find evidence of them doing it, but they couldn't arrest the person who told them to do it.
I would assume that with this,
And this is why they made the RICO law, so they can immediately also get the people at the top. But they already have the person at the top, so maybe that's why it's not playing out as much, because the person at the top is the one you want. You see what I'm saying?
I'm sure they're gonna go for the others. They have
to. I don't know. I think they will, but they'll get lighter sentences.
Yeah.
The heaviest sentence and punishment always goes to the top person. Is the one you want to dismantle the whole fucking thing.
I would assume that.
So yeah, no, he's foul. Listen, we'll see what they'll do. A lot of people are.
We'll see what they do.
No, because a lot of other celebrities, have some explaining to do.
Everybody, I think, almost. Like,
so it's gonna be interesting to see.
The interesting thing that I saw was a Pink and an Usher deleted all their feeds. They just wiped their shit clean.
Multiple people.
I know that almost everybody in hip hop needs to.
Kim Kardashian her lawyer's putting out cease and desist. Yeah, that's what I read. Putting out cease and desist to people that are posting shit. Yeah, of course she was also at those parties.
Yeah.
Then it's serious. It's serious. Like there's a lot of people who are at this thing.
Shit.
And even if not legal, reputationally, you're not gonna tell us that none of you people knew anything. No. You all knew.
If I just need one picture of one of those parties to come out. Everybody who's in that picture, questionable. Anybody who we know associated with Diddy in some kind of way is questionable now. Like, even if you knew him beginning of his career, or I think it was Young Miami from
so she was dating him.
Very questionable.
And a lot of people are asking that, but I think I don't know what she said, but there's people who've asked that question like, yo, where are you at? And she's not really responding.
Of course she's not. Of course she's not.
Yeah.
His kids, like...
Oh, I heard they're also going to get charged. I heard they're actually going to get charged because they've also done stuff, is what I heard.
You could not, you cannot have not done anything in that environment.
This is gross, man. This is why you need to, you get famous, take your money and mind your business.
Just chill.
All this funny business.
It's also interesting, like the man was never proper rapper. He made great songs, but he never produced on them, as far as I know. He was like a DJ Khaled kind of type, where I do not know what his involvement was in music.
I don't know. I've never been a big fan.
Yeah.
So for me, also, I feel more removed from this. I think some people were fans of him. I don't know why. I've never been a big fan.
There's some great songs that he has been involved with.
Like what?
Like some Biggie shit. But with multiple artists, with Usher shit, he has been involved with. Justin Bieber shit, he has been involved. Like, he's been involved in
Justin
a lot.
Bieber up. He ruined Justin Bieber. That whole phase where Justin Bieber was wilding was when he was fucking with him. Like, what are we talking about?
I didn't want to go there. I was just saying names of artists that...
Dude's a weirdo.
No, dude is a weirdo.
Dude's a weirdo. He's always been a weirdo.
Dude is a weirdo. No, I'm not disagreeing.
I do. I hope they put him away for a long time. I really do.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
Get rid of this dude.
All right, let's skip Diddy and his shit. Like
that's it. That's all I have to say. That was it.
There's nothing else.
I got nothing left.
We will see what this thing is gonna take years.
I think the more interesting conversation is what else is gonna be uncovered now. There's a lot of people that I think are nervous. But I think if he takes that stand,
for me, the interesting conversation, and it's maybe
am I going down alone? I don't know.
For me, maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but for me, the more interesting conversation is this gonna be where some people are gonna stop putting some people on the pedestal. So like you said, Kim Kardashian is doing cease and desist and that kind of stuff. Everybody who was at that party and was closely associated with him will get hurt in some kind of way. To what degree will these people get hurt, or their reputations get hurt? And I wonder if people are gonna stop supporting some of these people because they were so intimately associated with Diddy.
A lot of weirdo shit going on.
We saw with R. Kelly that some people, and it's a small group of people, but those are diehard older fans in America of R. Kelly, said, fuck it, we still want to listen to his music and we still support him. I do not know with Diddy, because yeah, there will always be a group of people, but the association alone to this man will ruin some shit for you for a good while. And some of these people, like Kardashians, like certain artists, like Young Miami or something, are trying to be active right now. So, yeah, this is no legacy shit. This is happening. This is current. Y'all were at the party like a year ago.
Yeah. A year ago, he was still P. Diddy.
He was still
fine.
Brother Love or whatever he called himself.
Yeah. I think it was just Love.
Love.
Yeah. He released that album.
The album was shit.
I remember when both of us said this shit's trash. We were like, I've never been a fan of the guy, so I'm just like, dude, get him out of here. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've always thought he was weird.
Going from one celebrity kind of thing to another.
Yeah, how do you segue this? Let's see.
They have both been. Let me try and
don't just associate people together, dude.
No. They've both.
We're talking about somebody else now.
We're talking about somebody else.
Box.
But they have been in controversies of themselves on a way lower level. This is YouTube shit. Mr. Beast. We have been seeing a little bit of this shit, and we have not been talking about it that much yet. But Mr. Beast has been for a while the talk of the online town world. So we see some of that shit, of course, as well.
I have a lot to say about this.
What happened, the latest thing that happened, and it's the latest thing that's for us interesting. I'm sure other shit happened that is also interesting. The latest thing that happened for us that is interesting is his manual for at his company.
Yeah, his company handbook, the internal company handbook meant for employees at the company.
This happened after allegations that he handles his prize. He's cheating on his reality shows.
Contests.
Everything is being rigged. The working environment at his job work is toxic and all that kind of stuff. So to see that partly, people leaked out his handbook, his company handbook, and it was verified with current employees.
Yeah, with current employees that it is indeed the. Well, I read it on Business Insider.
Yeah,
and they confirmed with two staffers that currently still work that it is indeed the handbook that is the internal employee handbook basically at that at Mr. Beast Productions.
So because this shit is long, we did not fully read it, but we did put it in ChatGPT.
I'm going to read the whole thing. I am going to read the whole thing.
No, at a later point, but we did put it in ChatGPT and are going to read through some of the bigger points. And then we're going to see what is interesting. Because it is very, like for me, it is very interesting. Besides all the allegations and stuff, and we'll see what is true and that happens over time. It is interesting to see how he got his YouTube channel and his company this big. There's something this guy is doing well. And you cannot dispute that. Like, dude did something well enough to a certain degree to be successful. And it will be interesting to see what he did and how he thinks.
Well, what are some of the critiques that you... Because we disagreed on this. I think that the guy, you know...
I think we agree, but
I think he's doing his...
angle to it is different.
I think he's doing his thing.
And I think people, the online community or the YouTube community cannot handle a person doing his thing in a business manner. Okay. They see him as a personality. They see him as an influencer.
I don't want to jump to the bigger... I think there's a big conversation here, but I don't want to jump to that too soon. Mm. So this handbook comes out. It's confirmed by multiple sources to be legitimate.
Yeah.
What are some of the highlights in it? Well, some of the highlights are that the goal is to create the best YouTube videos. So he really emphasizes that the goal is to make the best YouTube videos, not the funniest videos, not the best looking videos, not the most professional videos, but the videos they'll do best on YouTube. So he really distinguishes between just good content and content that is tailor-made for the YouTube platform.
Which I think
you have to take into perspective, this is a handbook that's leaked now, but it's been used at his company for a long time. And before he even wrote the handbook, he already had these ideas. He just had to write it down.
That in the first point.
Right? Yeah. That he could, at first, he had few employees, so he could just tell you directly. But since it becomes a bigger company, he had to write a handbook because he can't have direct contact with everyone.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making here is that he understood this a long time ago already. If you say that today, you have to make YouTube specific videos. I think a lot of people who do YouTube professionally would say, yeah, duh, of course. But back in the day, I don't think that was at all understood.
I think saying that people will say duh, but I don't think people understand it. And I don't think I fully understand it. It is different. Like, take, for example, our podcast here. We put it on YouTube. We do this shit. We are not tailoring it for YouTube specifically. No. There's a different way of doing that.
Yeah.
That means you don't say certain words. That means you don't talk about certain subjects. That means you do stuff that caters to the most active viewers on YouTube. That means you cater stuff to kids. That is just how it works. The most active people on YouTube are kids, or young, not kids like babies, but like the younger demographic, like a 13 to 16, that range.
Although it's shifting a little bit, but
yeah, you cater mostly to boys. You like boys, yes. You cater mostly to the algorithm, so you make sure that your thumbnails work in a certain way.
And everything he does, and he talks about it.
Everything he does. And if I'm sure if you would just tell a person who is doing YouTube videos or whatever, like, you need to cater to the YouTube algorithm, they would say yes, but they would not all do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but so there's a bigger conversation there, because it's like, I think it's understood, and that's what I think is important. I don't think it was as well understood in the past. I think today it's very well understood, but some people just choose not to do it because YouTube is not their main purpose. So they're maybe more trying to be an influencer in general. A lot of celebrities are on YouTube that are also just like Shannon Sharp, for example.
That's another interesting thing we saw in the notes.
Shannon Sharp has a lot of them are podcasts. Yeah. So they're not YouTube first. They're podcasts, and they use YouTube. So that's different than being YouTube native. So that's why I think it's very interesting for someone that he understood. Like, everything we're saying now is clear. He understood a long time ago that you had to be YouTube native to really make it work. And instead of thinking about what goes viral in general, what goes viral on YouTube specifically? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was very interesting as a highlight.
The interesting point there is he is clearly YouTube first and possibly YouTube only.
Yep.
In everything he
everything
does.
Else is secondary. Everything, if he does it
everything informs YouTube, which a lot of people are not doing. Like, a lot of people, like you just said, are just multiple platforms. They do YouTube second or extra or whatever. So it is interesting from a purely how you run this thing and what you're good at. It's interesting. What else did ChatGPT summarize for us that could be worth noting?
Any crucial element, for example, title, specific challenges, should be treated with extreme care. Always have backup plans to ensure nothing jeopardizes the production. Daily check-ins are recommended to avoid project failures and last-minute issues. So he really believed in taking full ownership of every project you have to avoid bottlenecks, as he refers to them, to be able to work very efficiently and make decisions very quickly. You know, when you read the whole thing, it just reads like a corporate handbook.
Basically.
I think that's what people have a problem with. Yeah. Because like you said, I think he was thought of like an influencer and a fun guy and all this other stuff, which I'm not saying he's not those things.
He could be both.
But for me, and I'm not someone who I don't think I've ever watched a YouTube Mr. Beast video from start to finish. I've seen clips, but I don't think I've ever watched. Oh no, I watched one. There was one where they locked two people in like a sort of weird container place. They had to sort of stay there for like 100 days and they would get $1 million. And they would give
that one
with the boy and the girl.
Yeah. I saw clips of that.
I watched one.
Yeah. I hate this video.
We'll get to that in a second. But I always looked at it like, oh, this is clearly a guy who's running a business. And I think you should put him. When you think of Mr. Beast, you should think more, which, you know, is a little foreshadowing what we'll talk about later. You should think more Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, that direction than that you think of Kim Kardashian or Logan Paul, whatever celebrity. That's not who he is. He's the other one.
I think,
and that to me was always very clear. But I think people didn't really get that.
I think people were putting him in that Logan Paul, KSI, that MKBHD, maybe not, but that frame of an influencer. Oh, we see this face every time. He is doing everything by himself. That's the idea. He is promoting his own stuff. No, dude is a corporate entity. Mr. Beast is a miniature MSNBC or something like that. It's a network.
If you look at the numbers, they were saying from court documents that they're projected to generate about $700 million in revenue this year alone. You're talking about a proper business. You're no longer talking about
100%.
You're no longer talking about just some kid. And I think people are not like when I saw that there was an internal handbook, I said, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't there be? Like, why would you not have? So that's exactly what you should have.
Do you know what? I think people online started thinking that he is more an influencer when he went up against PewDiePie for biggest YouTuber on the platform. I think they saw PewDiePie.
Wasn't that a long time ago?
That was a long time ago, but that's when I feel like the Mr. Beast hype started. To me, maybe before that already with his loyal viewers, it was a thing. But to me, then people started taking him serious, like, oh, he's the bigger YouTuber or whatever. I think around that point, people were thinking or saw him as still an influencer, and that shit stuck. They just stopped there, and they did not see him expand his team, his organization. They did not see that dude is a corporate entity. Or his channel is a corporate entity, and he's just the CEO of that.
But this is where the bigger conversation starts for me, because the critiques that I've seen of him are basically the critiques that everybody has nowadays of just companies.
Yes.
So literally, one of the first things I saw, I think that one lady that we were watching the video of was sort of saying the same thing of like
it's a
toxic work culture.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I've seen. It's a toxic work culture because he overworks people. I remember. A couple months ago, the former CEO of Google was doing a talk somewhere, Eric Schmidt, and he was talking about, he made this statement where he said Google started to care more about work-life balance than did they care about winning. And when he was early at Google, people would just work and do whatever they have to do to win. And that got a lot of backlash because people were like, oh, that's toxic and this and that. So there's a bigger conversation going on about work and work-life balance and work culture and sort of this anti-corporate sentiment that I think ties into.
I see what you
saying. I think ties into this when he is someone where, at least with the corporations, we know that's what they do. I think here it's also like, for some people, to some degree, even if they kind of knew it, to be faced with it makes it more annoying. You know what I mean?
You know what I think it was? And I mean YouTube viewers and YouTube users, they see YouTube as an escape from corporate, and they don't like that it has become corporate. With him. Like, YouTube is their escape. You go to YouTube after work or during work or whatever to not see work culture. You're going to watch fun videos. You're going to see people live real life. You're going to see them live stream.
But his videos are fun.
But they don't like that behind those fun videos, it is a work culture, a corporate work culture. It's not just regular work culture because you can have a channel, you can have a company and it's just regular. No, it's corporate. The handbook shows that it is basically a large corporate.
Yeah.
Which is different than 5 or 10 guys running a YouTube channel and shooting the shits in between time. This is maybe even tens to hundreds of people running this shit, contracted out. There's unions that they need to work with, possibly or not. There's equipment that costs multiple millions, spaces that cost multiple millions. This is not simple. And I think people are realizing or seeing that they do not like the fact that this YouTube channel or this place that they go to for fun, to escape from culture, corporate and capitalistic culture, is that. That's what my assumption is. What do you think? Like, you think?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm reaching a bit?
No, to a degree. I think it sort of it burst the bubble. I think that's the big thing. I know there was also employees that came out and basically, more than a handbook, just explained how he works and how the company works and how things are made. And I think it sort of destroyed the mystique to a degree. You know what I mean? It sort of, you get to look behind the curtain and it's not, you get to see how what is that phrase? You get to see how the meat's made.
Yeah.
And now people don't like it anymore because they've seen how the videos they thought that were fun are made. But it's like, at the same time, it's like this dude replicated Squid Game. Like, you think that's not hard work?
Yes.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, that's what you think. To me, it's just it's childish a little bit. And I get it if it's actually children. But like, if you see the videos he makes, how do you not think there's a tremendous amount of effort and planning and that goes into this stuff?
But I think you're completely right. It is childish, and it says something to me about the kind of people that are watching this shit. Y'all child that you guys do not realize this.
They realize it, but it bothers them.
Yeah, no. they did not realize it. They are now realizing it, and it bothers them that they're realizing it. Because if you knew about this would not be a problem for you.
And not to me, no.
So for me, it is, oh, y'all are growing up, or y'all are seeing some grown up shit, and y'all don't like it. Maybe
there's also the critique of like his business practices.
Yeah, but that's
some of the business practices might be allegedly illegitimate.
Some of the shit I've heard, like, he's not doing the cleanest of them. He's starving people out there.
No, there's that, but there's also the thing with the giveaways, right? Where it's sort of a lottery, but he gives stuff away. Then
let's be honest,
not equal chances. He gives it to people that he knows and stuff like that.
Let's be honest. If you are, you know when we had our cloning thing, that giveaway stressed me the fuck out.
Oh, we did a giveaway.
We did a giveaway. We did it legit, which is what you're supposed to do. But I do not know if that person lives in fucking other side of the world where we need to pay triple the amount of the floating piece to send it to them, or if they live right next door to us. That shit stressed me the fuck out. Imagine him. He's giving away millions. Legal parts around it. I'm gonna fudge it a little. You need to be easily be reachable, and it needs to be come on.
It's a little deeper than that, but yeah. Look,
but you know what I mean, right? The sentiment.
Yeah, the dude's running a business. The dude's running a business, and if you didn't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. Because it's the same thing with the contestants. It wasn't really real. Yeah.
To me, the critique should not be, oh, he's running a business. The critique should be, oh, the kind of business he's running and the culture in the business is maybe not the best. And he probably should do it in a different way. You can always disagree with how he's doing stuff. The fact that he's doing stuff in a business-like manner and not as an influencer should not bother you.
And that's where, the handbook, I'm going to read the whole thing. For those who haven't read the handbook, I'm about a couple pages in. I think it's really insightful. I would say that for me, it's given me a lot more respect for this dude. He's really smart. He's not just playing around. I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, this dude really knows what he's doing. Look, he's really thought. He really spent years trying to figure this YouTube thing out. I'm like, okay, and people know this already, but still, when you read it, I guess when you read it, you're more like, oh, well, okay. It's very detailed. It's very useful. If you're trying to do YouTube, I think it's very useful. So,
I said before that I hate his videos, but I truly admire how smart he is with creating virality and being successful on the platform. Like, I don't watch his shit, but it is insane how he does that.
Yeah,
and how he keeps being successful.
It's exactly that too. It's like, I don't watch it, but I don't watch it not because I have a problem with it, but because it's literally not made for me.
Yes.
And literally, it's just literally not made for me. And that's fine. But I can still look, oh, it's a good business.
And
it's just not for me.
After seeing some of the points and seeing a little bit, I understand that it's not for me, because if you cater to YouTube, just like I said before, there's a certain set of users that you should cater to be optimally successful. And I'm not part of that. I'm in a different subsection within YouTube that is interesting for me, but he's not going to make videos for that because that place doesn't make that much money compared to the place that he's fucking with.
I mean, there's also a bigger thing going on about where, I'm trying to find the best way to explain this, but we're seeing just an era where we want to tear people down a lot. People are sort of fed up.
Scrutinize. I think not there, but
no, I think tear down. We can have that discussion, but I think tear down. Okay. I think I saw it with the Drake thing a lot. You saw it with, you're seeing it with Mr. Beast. Obviously, there's also people where it's just, they've done foul shit, so they have to be, they have to face charges and do what we just talked about. But there's also just like this. I remember just watching some of the critiques of him, and it's like, it's like, because he's been critiqued before any of the foul shit came out. For how he makes what he does. He makes videos, he does giveaways, but then the giveaways cause more people to watch the videos, and that's the business model. Everyone understands the Mr. Beast business model. But it's like almost like, okay, so it bothers you because it's working. That's sort of what I'm seeing. It's just a sort of resentment that's slowly building up, I think, more and more towards influencers, celebrities, people who are publicly successful. there's this sort of building, sort of like, you shouldn't support them because they're all millionaires and we don't have anything, and they're probably doing something illegal or shady or unethical. That's why there's a lot of that going on, and I think that plays a role. And I think he's just another person who's just a big figurehead, a big face of that. That they're like, oh, now we can tear him down. You know, that's how I think that that's really a thing. I think that's really going on.
I agree, but maybe I'm simplifying it again. I think that's again, like, people are sick at work. They're angry that they're working in either corporate, either blue collar jobs where they need to be in a factory or whatever, and they get home and they see a Drake living lavish, doing stuff. They see Mr. B's. They see somebody else. Not necessarily living lavish is not the right word. They see them being free from all the shit that they are not free from.
Which they think, but yeah, they don't know. But yeah, absolutely.
And they get angry and they attack. I think to me,
when they have a reason, when they have the slightest reason.
Yes, they need. They just need a little bit.
Yeah, and they just
that little bit doesn't have to be untrue. That little bit can be true, but even if it is a little bit and not worth tearing somebody down completely for, they will use it to tear somebody down completely.
Yeah,
because I think in both Drake and Mr. B's cases, and I think you might disagree with that, with the Drake part, I think there's a legitimate piece that you can say, but that does not mean that everything else.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Because they need something. So they need a little thing to start with, and when they have that, and it's like, because it's also very often it's internal. So you saw with Drake where it's other people in the industry, but with Mr. Beast, this is also the case. The reason this became a thing was because a lot of YouTubers were like, "Aha, yeah, I knew it," and then they just, and it does look like hate. It does look like, you're mad that he's, really like that. That's so when I look at it,
it's very salty shit.
Now, and obviously, of course, we have to make sure to not forget that there was a legitimate problem with one of his employees,
100%,
who did some shit that was truly foul. To my knowledge, they fired that person and got rid of them and disassociated with that. No, that's where it started. That first came, but then that sort of was the catalyst to go, hey, let's look further into, and then they bring other that have nothing to do with this. They bring all this other stuff that has nothing to do with that. Of like, oh well, now it's time for us to get at you. So it's this thing of where, there's a lot of that going on nowadays. It's interesting to see what he's gonna do. They said he released a new project with Logan Paul and KSI.
Oh, that
Lunchables, a new product, and we're gonna see how that does.
That shit was also interesting. Like, all this shit is happening, and you're gonna
strategy.
No, hold up. Strategy, yes, but all this shit is happening. You already have this company where you do kind of candy bars or bars of some kind. People are already criticizing you for targeting kids and selling them shit. Not targeting kids in that sense, but selling kids shit that is not good for kids in both the videos, but also in the food thing. Then you decide, what's a good idea? Or before that, I'm going to partner up with 2 other YouTubers who are also selling shit that people have been criticizing that kids are drinking too much and it's unhealthy for kids. And I'm going to package it and sell it as a lunch replacement, which is supposedly, the 3 of us will say is healthier than the other thing, but that doesn't mean anything because it's still unhealthy.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That is insane.
Yeah. No. Yes. Look,
that is bad business.
Wow.
I know it's not.
It could be. Listen,
influencer-wise is good business.
You could look at it like this, right? There's all this shit going on. You put out some heat. You put out some heat. and distract from the situation. That's what he needs to do. It's like Drake. You put out a couple hits, everyone will forget about that shit. That's what Mr. B's got to do. You got to put out some hits, And give us another Squid Game. That's what he needs. He needs another Squid Game.
He needs that, yeah.
He needs some new hits. And once he does that, he'll be out of here. I mean, the dude is solid.
With all these cases, the fans of these people will always keep going.
Well,
he wants new people, of course.
He's in a very unique position. Oh my God! I just came up with another thing I want to ask you about. We didn't plan this one, so
I have also another thing that relates to this, but let's keep going. Yeah.
So okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, he needs some hits. He needs another Squid Game thing, but his fans also are people who don't care about this stuff.
Yes,
because they're young boys. They don't fucking care, dude. They don't care about. So that's the problem. That's the interesting thing. He is sort of a moat in that sense.
Again, the business practices, the handbook is brilliant in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because the kind of people that are going to critique him, the people who watch him don't follow the kind of people that critique him.
Yeah.
So they're probably not even the average Mr. Beast fan is probably barely aware that this is even going on. Because they don't even, and that's a very unique position to be. I think that's why he's also comfortable just continuing and going on about. And I heard there's some people that are suing him, so we'll see about that.
Yeah.
There's a lawsuit now coming up. But I think he settles it and just goes about his merry way. He's honestly what I think is gonna happen.
The thing with the viewers is interesting for me because you're right, they do not care, but from a business sense, he needs to care for them, and I think that's why he's also that's why the lunch thing is interesting. He's replacing the older viewers. At some point, these viewers of his will get older and they'll grow out of his content. That's always gonna happen.
True.
So he needs to replace them with new ones.
Exactly.
Get into schools. Your face is on these things, also for the other two. And they will go to your channel. They will watch your videos, be interested. So it's like a replacing thing. But the same thing happened with TV. The same thing happens in social media. Like at some point, you outgrow the medium that is targeted for you. And you will go to a different medium. And then you will be there and enjoying there. Though the newer kids or the newer crop you want to attract the newer crop as a company so your business stays afloat. That's basically what it is. Replace or grow with your customer base. Either you grow with your customer base or you stay at the same place and replace your customer base with the younger version of the same customer. That's what it is. And I think that is what he is trying to do. I just wonder if that is able to happen with all the scrutiny
new
on
fans.
him. But
new fans.
Yeah.
I think
he will do it.
I think he'll be fine. The fact that he's built different. Listen. He's built different.
He is.
Because again, your regular influencer just I wanted to just be famous and blah 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 and I'm having fun. They get into this stupid shit where they don't know what they're doing and they just do go put out an apology that does not prepare. This is corporate love. This is a company.
He has not said much.
Because this is a company that has a PR firm that has a lawyer. This is thought through.
Yeah. He's
not some regular influencer that's going to come out and botch this shit. So I think he's just built different. I think he has a much better plan on how to tackle this.
Only if it is very necessary and when they have to fire that one person, then he came out and said...
That's also corporate shit.
But that was also... Yeah, you have to go, but you give him...
Put out a statement.
You put out a statement.
And that's it.
No apology video where you speak in the camera. Only if it is part of the... Only if it's part of the marketing, you will come with your face and speak. Blah blah blah. No.
That. Which brings me to another topic. I think I'm almost 100% sure you heard about this. Have you heard about shits and gigs?
Yeah. Oh God. I forgot about this. I forgot about this.
We're late to the party.
You're talking about Andrew Schultz's shit.
Yes. We're late to the party.
I wondered if we should do this.
We'll handle it with care.
I don't think I can.
No, because the angle I'm going to take is different, though.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Shits and Gig, very popular podcast from the UK, made a guest appearance on another very popular podcast in the US during their US tour.
Yeah.
Flagrant, that is hosted by stand-up comedian Andrew Schultz. Certain comedy jokes were made by Andrew Schultz, that were inappropriate. Yeah. But that is what they do on there.
Yeah.
Just to be fair. The thing is, they laughed at it. They laughed at the jokes. And
quick aside, would you sit there? Would you laugh
at the joke?
Would you have a good time
at that joke?
Yes.
Yes and no. I might laugh, but I probably would have said something. even if
you cannot do that or something like that, like jokingly say, "Oh, you cannot do that," or just try to stop it.
Here's how I am. If you want to ask me this, I'll tell you what I'm like. When people make a joke that I think is offensive to me or people I care about, I mostly make that type of joke back.
You attack.
So I would have roasted him then. That's what I would have done.
But that would be amazing.
That's my defense response. So if you say something like this, foul, then I'm going to say some wild shit about your mustache or some. Then I'm gonna that's what I would have done. So
okay,
that would have probably been my response.
Continue.
But these dudes just laugh and they kind of just laugh at it, and it becomes this opera. So it's just a joke that was offensive to black women.
Yeah,
and they laugh at it.
Yeah,
and it becomes this whole thing, and they then do an apology, right? That was horrible, right? After they do the apology, Andrew Schultz and his crew respond to the apology by saying, "Look, bruv, you had stuff you wanted to take out. You didn't even ask to take this out. So now you're sitting on there apologizing, kind of putting it on me as if I was all bad. When it was all cool with you when we were making those jokes.
It was y'all.
And it becomes a whole thing. And they're apparently, so to talk about the controversy stuff. The history too. But to tie it to what we're just talking about, with them, it is they're losing subscribers. Like, this is for real. It's actually affected them. It's not some shit where, it'll blow over. It has actually damaged their business for real. Like, I've heard they're losing subscribers. Sponsorships are also coming into question. The outrage was very real, though. A lot of people were really upset.
No, because it is the same thing. Like I said before,
but it was not handled properly.
Horribly. That apology did, like, from both sides, either side of the coin. Like, when they were laughing on the couch, that was handled horribly, and the apology was handled horribly. You allowed an opening for Schultz to do that.
But here's my hypothesis that I wanted to put. Okay. This is why I want us to talk about it, right?
Okay.
They should have never gone there in the first place. That was the mistake. The mistake was going there in the first place, and going there, apparently, listen, I'm just going to say it. The way these dudes have handled this whole thing, from their appearance there to the outrage and everything, it's amateur shit. It's amateur shit.
Talk to me about it. Because I don't know if I fully.
The thing that really showed to me that they were amateurs was another clip that came out from that US store when they went to this other podcast called Poor Minds.
That was with the two ladies?
The two black women.
And they said
Atlanta-based. Right? Atlanta-based podcast. They're based in Atlanta. And they asked them, "Hey, so you're in Atlanta, have you seen any baddies?" And they go, "No." And I go, you see, you're right there. And then they talk about how there's no baddies, women in Atlanta. And that they tie all this together. Because, again, for those who don't know, Atlanta is like the black American Mecca.
As I've understood.
High population of black African-American people. And it's that are doing well, that is wealthy. There's a lot of, you always hear that, right? The whole Donald Glover made a whole TV show about Atlanta. So, how did you not clock what they were actually asking? Or how that question would be interpreted? You're saying there were two black women on a podcast that is watched very much by black women that are basically asking you, have you seen any attractive black women in the city where there's a lot of attractive black women? And you said no.
That is
so if you then tie that to the joke on Andrew Schultz podcast.
Yeah.
And then you tie it to the past stuff, comments that they've made. It's like, you dudes are how did you not know?
Because what I find interesting
is amateur hour.
What I find interesting is that you said they should not have been at the Schultz.
Yes, because they don't have the audience for it, clearly.
Yeah. And that tells me they didn't know their audience.
I've seen plenty of people say, but there should. I saw this guy responding to say, we also have to have smoke for Schultz and cancel Schultz. It won't work. It won't work.
Schultz.
You know why? Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
This was
regular. This was light.
It was light.
This was light.
In that same episode, it was light. In that same, and that's what tells me the people who are outraged by this do not watch Andrew Schultz, so it doesn't affect him. They watch Shits and Gigs. It affects them. That's why they're losing subscribers. Those people that are unsubscribing from Shits and Gigs cannot unsubscribe from Andrew Schultz because they were never subscribed to him in the first place. And this is what I mean about understanding where you're at in your audience. You dudes are not built like this. You don't have that audience. You don't have the audience where you can make those type of jokes about women at all any women, but definitely not black women, and then it's fine.
They thought they could.
And that's the fuck up. That's some amateur shit.
But do you know why they thought they could? Because they always do relationship and women kind of topics and whatever. And they thought, oh, you know what? We talk about it anyways. So we are raunchy. We are saying some fun shit. So we can do this kind of shit.
And I'm not Schultz back.
No.
And honestly, you see it even when they're there. You see the type of jokes that they make there. They couldn't keep up with it. They couldn't. They couldn't keep up with it. They couldn't. You could tell they were like, oh. But I think that I'm not saying that I believe their apology, that they were like, oh, fight or flight. No, we didn't know what was going to happen.
Fight or flight is wild.
That was stupid. I don't know who wrote that apology. Whoever wrote that apology or prepared apology should be fucking fired. It was really awful.
Fight or flight. You're saying you were in a dead or alive situation, and
what he even said it wrong. He didn't say fight or flight. He said fight or freeze or some other stupid.
No. You're telling me that a joke brought you in a dead or alive situation where you thought, if I don't laugh, I will. Fight or flight means like you will die if you don't. I think what he was
trying to say.
No. I don't care what you were trying to say.
It's awful. It's awful. It was a horror. It was really bad. Look, it really is going down in history as one of the worst influencer celebrity apologies.
There's been a couple of those.
Oh, but this one's really bad.
No, this one is very bad.
This one, I looked at it. You dudes look stupid. This dude's just sitting like this, in front of some anime fucking shit.
It was not even their regular. It was not even their regular spot.
The whole thing looked awful.
It didn't look like their regular spot. It looked like they were at a different office or whatever.
The whole thing looked awful. It looked awful. They looked awful. The thing didn't sound sincere.
Look,
everything they said was nonsense.
I can understand why they thought, yo, Schultz might be a good idea, but there's no connection to Schultz. There's no connection to raunchiness.
Apparently, a lot of a significant part of their audience is black women, which I don't watch them, so I don't know. I didn't know this.
I've seen
literally
them,
the first time I've seen. I know who they are. Yeah, I've seen clips. Yeah, but the first time I saw them in like a longer thing was on the Schultz thing, which I watched. I don't know, but a lot of people are saying like, oh, they have a segment of the audience that is black women, which makes me go more and more. Really, dude? You couldn't clock. Because then it makes sense that they went to the Poor Minds podcast.
That makes sense.
But then
no. But that makes sense. But then it doesn't make sense that you get like knocked out by such a simple question.
What are we doing?
No, like my question is, do you look at your analytics ever?
This was my question. What are these boys doing? That's what I wanted to understand. Well, these boys were kill. I heard. Listen, I don't know much about it, but I heard they were smoking it.
They
were smoking. I heard they were doing live shows.
Money.
It was going crazy.
Money.
For being dodos. For doing what we do, basically.
But do you know what I think it was? It is, I think, they for a long time they were UK audience only. I saw them pop up lately in America or just everywhere.
It was UK only, yeah.
And in UK jokes and UK,
the rules are a little bit different.
It's slightly different. It's not much different because you still cannot.
I heard that's who canceled them. I heard in the UK a lot of people were not fucking with this because that's what I first thought. Okay, maybe it's this US thing, but I heard in the UK they were also not fucking with that joke.
No, I know that here in Europe we joke slightly different than Americans will when it comes to race. We don't see race in exactly the same way as they do. There's similarities and it's generally similar, but there's like a little bit more different nuance in things. So maybe they thought, oh, okay, the jokes we can do fly a little bit different and are fine in that context. Maybe that's why they didn't say, hey, take it out. But to be so flagrantly flagrant, to be so stupid with that, I don't understand.
They should have never gone there in the first place.
Like, I think
they should have never gone there in the first place. That was the mistake. Because there was nothing that they could have done there to make it better. That's my thing. Like I just said, if it were me, my reaction to something like that is, all right, now I'm going to make all sorts of fucked up jokes about whatever you are. Or I'll just fucking clap back. You know what I'm saying? I probably laugh while doing it.
We start making Irish jokes or some shit.
Whatever this dude is. You see what I'm saying? And no one said that that's a good response. Because it would still be jokey, funny. But at least you're sort of, I don't know, to me, at least you're sort of saying, hey, okay, well then, we can.
No, but if you're on the platform, that's the right way.
And that's what they do. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. But They shouldn't have been there. They were out of there. This whole thing, and that's why
Why were they doing?
The reason I brought it up is because it contrasts what we're saying with the Mr. Beast. This is a professional corporation that understands what they're doing. Shits and gigs. That's what you said. Just a bunch of dudes.
This is a
bunch of dudes having some fun. That's it.
It's influencers. And it's fine. It's fine to be an influencer. It's fine to do it that kind of way. But don't be angry when you figure out that people are not influencers. You have those and you have other people.
But it was, when I saw the Andrew Schultz response to it, and one thing he said was interesting. He said, you see this a lot when you're talking about people that are just funny on the internet, but they're not stand-up comedians. This type of stuff is harder for them to deal with because that's another thing. Andrew Schultz has a lot that, again...
He's been through this.
He's been doing this for 5 years straight. So there's nothing you can really say or do. Now, there are people who are really trying to gain the momentum on him.
It's not happening.
I don't think it's going to do anything. But a big thing that also protects him is, I'm a stand-up comedian. That still carries a lot of weight where he can say, I'm a professional doing this. This is my job to do. I can, the stand-up comedians do have that extra protection. You don't. You can't say, we're stand-up comedians. This is what we do for a living. It's a joke. Yeah. I make jokes. I make raunchy jokes. He can do that. He has that reputation. He has a fan base that is based around that. That's what they like him for. Again, like we just said, this is light work compared to the shit that he normally does, right? 100%. So it doesn't work. You boys don't have that. You boys don't have that type of... You can't say I'm a stand-up comedian and I'm going into the... You don't have a stand-up comedy community that'll support you. You do that on your own. Andrew Schultz says some shit. Joe Rogan comes in and says, nope, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Other comedians come in and say, nope, that's what we do. That's what it is. Stand-up comedy fans will come and say, no, that's fuck. This is us. This is what y'all have nothing. Y'all how you sick dolo.
Y'all started a couple years ago.
It's
with the two of y'all.
They weren't
like but there's a difference. Like that's
I got it.
That's why it's interesting that none of these or some of these people don't see their shits as companies or as entities, corporate entities in the making. Like,
well, look, this shit happens fast.
It happens fast. And I'm not saying that's not a problem.
I heard they were doing okay for a minute, but then it was like this, and then
it happens fast. But my question is, why are you doing an international tour so quickly?
Without proper preparations.
Without proper preparation.
It was messy.
You're going to multiple other podcasts. You will have your own platform. Why are you going to other platforms already?
Collaboration.
You
spreading the,
if you have your own show
to the US audience.
If you have your own show, bringing it around, cool. Go do some interviews. But don't do a whole podcast with people that you do not know that are a completely different genre than you.
It was just
the women podcast with the two women in Atlanta that you said.
I thought that was a good.
That was a good pick.
But then they fucked it.
But that is just.
Have you seen any baddies? Yes, of course. No, everywhere. Of course, you. No. Atlanta's clapped. Is what the dude said. He's like, "What are you fucking stupid?" This is what this dude said. I watched this thing. I was like, "This dude's a dodo."
Why? But why do you use those words?
He literally said,
why do you use those words?
Yo, they are cooking. I don't know if they've made memes about this dude. They've made memes about this dude.
Is the same dude of the two. It's a lighter skinned dude that keeps saying this shit. Which doesn't help you with the whole perception in American black women's eyes. Like, come on.
No, it's not good.
Like the easiest answer would be, yes, I'm seeing two of them in front of me right now.
Or something like that.
Something slick. You're supposed to be slick in those kind of situations. And then they would go like, no, but seriously, blah, blah, blah. And then you go, yeah, no, we were out in blah, blah, blah.
But it tells me this. I'm not from America, and even I understand. I understood. I just immediately saw, that's a bad answer. I
think these women have seen their podcasts before.
No, you know what's funny? I didn't even... Yes, I think they've seen their podcasts before, but I don't even think it was meant to be. Have you watched that clip?
I've seen it, yeah.
I really don't think it was meant to be.
They were just joking around talking, right?
I think they generally thought we're having a... That's kind of what they do. I watched that podcast a couple times. I watched it when Lil Yachty was on there.
First time I saw it.
They just talk about casual stuff like this, dating. So I think they were just like, oh, you see some baddies in Atlanta because they're from UK, right? So I think that was the deal. Oh, you've come here. How are the women here? That's kind of what they were just asking. I really don't think it was I think you can tell when they said no, not really. They were kind of surprised, and they quickly jumped because what they both went is like, "Oh, well, you're not offending me. I'm not from here." Because you could tell that deep down somewhere they were like, "Wait, so you're saying we're not?" That's sort of how they. It was awkward. The whole situation was just awkward, and I really think that I don't put that on them at all, on the women. I think they really were just trying to have a fun conversation, and these dudes just gave a response that was kind of
this also
autistic. It was just a bit off.
This also shows me that these dudes are not good with other people. Like, they're good on their own podcast with the two of them. Exactly. They cannot talk to anybody.
Exactly. This is the thing. But there's training for that. There's training for that. That's my point. It's just it just looked unprepared. It just looked they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared to. If you look at did you watch the Andrew Schultz one?
No, not fully.
Even as he's asking them questions,
clips,
the way in which they responded looked like someone who's never been interviewed before, has never said. I don't know their history. Look, but it just looked unprepared.
I don't want to shit on their podcast. We're not trying to start any podcast beef or something. We not on their level.
Them dudes is dying anyways. Bring on the smoke. I got nothing to lose.
But their podcast, like, I've seen, like, I never watched their shit fully, but I watched one longer clip. And apart from the clips where they talk about stuff that is a little bit interesting, that shit is dead. That shit is flat. It's boring. It's not going to me. And I'm not their viewership.
You say you don't want to start a beef and then you start cooking these dudes. That's typical Jeff. Oh no, I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm not trying to say anything bad. But them dudes is trash.
No. That's basically what you just did. Them dudes are not trash. When they get in the groove, they're good. But what I'm saying is, I can fully see that they're not comfortable around certain people.
Yeah, but it's also, there's a difference between.
But you need to
knowing
train
how to handle yourself on your platform where you control the lights, you control the mic, you control the camera, you control the editing. You're in your space versus going to somewhere where you have no control in that shit. It's not your space. It's not. You're not setting the tone. You're not setting the pace, right? You're not setting the tone. You're not bringing up the topics. Yeah. Someone else is.
I just cannot believe that they handled.
They handled this from start to finish. They fucked it up on the Schultz podcast. Then they fucked it up on the Poor Minds podcast. Then they fucked it up on the apology. No, they fucked it up all the way through.
They fucked it up way before. Why are there clips out there of you saying, "Yo, yeah, black women are not interesting," blah 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 blah? Why can people go back and find that shit?
I think they took some of that shit down.
Yeah, of course. Like, I would, if something like that happened to us, I would take shit down as well. But I would not give a horrible apology like that. I would own it to a degree. Like, yo, yeah, we said some shit. I was younger.
You see, this is, to me,
I don't know how we would fully handle it.
Okay, so that's where part of the conversation also was, like, should they have even apologized then? Here's my thing. I believe that the whole doubling down on shit is an effective method that can work. But again, only if you're Andrew Schultz, who can come out and say, because he was also getting some flack because of this, right? And he came out and he said, "Bro, we ain't apologizing for shit.
Bring it.
We're not gonna apologize for nothing. We're gonna keep doing what we do. It is what it is." But he can say that because he stands on years of building. See, when it's what Donald Trump also does.
Yeah.
He says some offensive shit. You push him on it. He repeats it again. But because he's built a brand, he's built a base on doing that. You dudes don't.
You know that's why he fucks with Donald as well.
I don't know if he fucks with Donald like that to a degree.
Jokingly, but he fucks with the way Donald speaks because he keeps being like, he keeps doubling down on shit like that.
Yeah, but there is this, when it comes to being canceled, it's because it's a masterclass in being canceled, right? Like, and like when it works to cancel somebody, and a big part of it is because, again, they don't have a foothold, a base that will support them through this.
No, and not loyal enough.
Well, also not through this because, well, it's not even about loyalty. It's about whether what you did was on brand or not. Again, Andrew Schultz, what he did was on brand, so his fans have no problem. Right, you did what? This is why we subscribe to this dude.
This is why I come here.
This is why I'm here. So what's the problem? But what for them it was not on brand. Apparently, I don't know their brand like that, but apparently it wasn't because people is for real unsubscribing.
It's definitely not on brand for them.
So they had to sort of. That's why they're between a rock and a hard place. They sort of had to apologize. They couldn't just double down on it because no, you really did something that we don't expect you to do. You know what I'm saying? It's tricky.
Which is so weird.
You did some shit that we for real, that the people that are actually your hardcore fans have a problem with. You see what I'm saying? It's like, imagine you are some fitness influencer that goes super, super hard on doing everything natural. This happened, by the way. It's a guy called Liver King.
Oh, yeah, that. He said he was natural.
Everything's about being natural and the sun and and you're on steroids. It's completely contradictory to the brand. So fuck this.
What is happening on the internet, bro?
It's wild. It's wild out there.
What is like? People are just getting famous or followers off of bullshit lies, and then they bring out one shitty apology and they think, I'm cool. Now I can go back. What is happening?
No, these boys, I think they're done for real. Like this is the way
it looks, yeah.
Because I'm not saying their podcast will be canceled immediately or whatever. But I think it'll slowly die out.
They will just have less followers. They will just talk to less people.
Because they did apparently again they apparently really it made up a significant part, and it's not just black women. A lot of people are mad, by the way, because the thing about insulting black women in this way, what I've seen in the response was, or saying something that offends black women in this way, what I've seen in the response is that it pissed off also just women in general. So I saw a lot of other women that are not black women that also didn't like it, and that went then to say, I saw a lot of women saying, yo, they're offensive to women in general, by the way. Here's all these other things. A lot of stuff came up, right? A lot of stuff. Here's all these other things they said about women that are fucked up. But there's a lot of black men that also didn't like it. That also went and said, well, hold on. I saw that this whole podcast called, I think it's called the Pivot podcast or something. It was just a whole group of black men who were just like, yo, this is some fuck shit. These boys are dodos. I saw a lot of black men also respond and say, yo, these dudes have to go. So they've pissed off a whole bunch of people. It spreads. So they're all in their audience.
Like the spread the spread to all women, I can understand, because if you say there's no baddies in Atlanta, you say there's no beautiful women at all in Atlanta. With baddies, and because the group that was asking it and the situation you're in, it implies black women. But in general, you're saying like, no, not at all. That's the feeling. And then when you sit there and you have a podcast by yourself where you're talking about relationship and you keep relationships and internet topics about that, and you keep saying some wild shit and reacting wildly to it, of course you're gonna say some shit that is very not friendly.
Well, they did, right? They talked about
then you get into this kind of stuff. It, like the whole business idea or the way they went about it, I do not know if it's the smartest, but I also think like, they tried it, they got successful to a degree, and they made a move, and the move now was just not the right move.
These boys were doing live shows, dude, selling tickets.
Bro, have you seen some of the footage of some of those live shows? They have big screens, like whole effects, fire and shit. They were doing the production well for those live shows. They fucked up.
Boys were going crazy. That's crazy.
A little bit in the same sphere, also something we did not discuss beforehand, but that has happened, and I think relates to both the Mr. B's and this situation slightly. MKBHD.
He vaguely heard about something going on.
He released a wallpaper app, an app where people can download wallpapers and they can use it. 2 issues though.
Wait. He released a wallpaper app for real? My guy MKB, my guy Marcus?
Yes.
Marcus Brown. Okay.
But people are angry.
What type of wallpaper?
Just for your phone, just so you can have it on your phones and on your
phone background.
Yeah, your phone background, wallpapers and that kind of stuff. But
okay.
He fucked up in 2 ways that pissed off a lot of people. First one, 3. First one, the app asks for insane permissions for something where you should only be downloading pictures. So it asks you for your microphone, for your video, for your location, and all that kind of stuff. That's because the app is, second point, ad-free until you pay $50 a month to get a
No, wait. You mean it's ad-free if you pay $50 a month?
Yeah, no, ad-free and only ad-free if you pay $50 a month.
Yeah. So if you don't pay the $50 a month,
yes, my bad,
you get ads.
Yeah.
And where do we display these ads?
Just in the application anywhere. And you get ads, and you get only lower quality versions of those wallpapers.
But it's a wallpaper app.
Yeah.
So if I download the wallpaper making my phone background, I'm done, right? Where would I see these ads?
No, you would in the app. So when you're scrolling to find a nice wallpaper,
there you would see that.
There you would see that.
Very, very short amount of time. And once you pick one, you're done.
But he's asking $50 dollars to take off those ads. And the last thing,
I'm trying to understand this.
The last thing, the wallpapers are supplied by a community of artists that he curates, and he takes 50% of the cut for every sale for those subscriptions.
Okay.
So people saw that.
We should have led with it. This is very interesting. I really didn't notice. I remember I saw one little thing about Marcus Brownlee, something that said out of touch with normal people. I didn't know what it was about.
So people got pissed, very pissed. This is the first step that he's releasing. People are saying, oh, this might have been another app that you just have reskinned. People are saying the design of the app is horrible. They're going that far. They're really tearing this down. They're saying it is unreasonable to have an app that only shows wallpapers and ask for $50 a month.
But help me understand just a little bit more about this app. It shows wallpaper. You have to be in the app to see the wallpaper,
yes.
or you download it once and it's like an image on your phone. I'm not understanding the concept.
You download it and then there's a library of wallpapers to choose from.
Okay.
So you go through it, you find for what you would like to see, what you would like, and then you download it to your phone, and then you can use it. When you download it in the ad supported version, that's a lower quality version. If you have an ad-free subscription, then you get a higher quality version that you can use for your phone, and there you go.
Here's what my first reaction to this is. I respect Marcus Brownlee. I think he's one of the best on YouTube, and what he does, I think is brilliant. Huge fan of the guy.
Fully agree.
That's why it's hard for me to accept this, because this sounds too stupid.
Dumb move.
This sounds so stupid that I just can't really wrap my head around why he would do this.
So what
he sounds way too smart to do. First of all, how is that a business at all? Why can't I just download? Who even uses phone wall? Am I missing? Is there community people who care about phone wallpapers? What's the business model?
The way he got to this is every time he does a review of a phone or whatever, he puts a different wallpaper on the back. And people keep asking him, hey, where can I find this wallpaper?
Okay. That makes a difference. Now I'm seeing So
he wanted to like share his library of wallpapers and stuff that
pictures
or art that he finds cool, and that people can use.
So this is some techie nerd stuff, because
the whole
normal people use pictures of themselves or their girlfriend or their family as a wallpaper. So this is some other people shit that I don't really.
People that want to be a little bit creative and they say
with their phones.
I want to do something.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
so for me, this thing is two-part. First part, Marquez fucked up. You're giving wallpapers to people, so that should not be that expensive. You should not be asking for my location, my permissions to use my camera or whatever. I'm downloading shit. I'm not giving you anything. That is because you used an ad network on your app that was not smart or not smart to use, or is just too broad in its permissions. Also fuck up on you. Another thing though, again, we're going back to the people. This is business. Influencers are trying to sell you something. Dude is not just an influencer anymore. I think he's slowly making a transition from being somebody who's just a camera talker, like I'm showing you my life and my application that I think cool, and going into I am MKBHD, the company, and an employee of that company.
Yeah, but look,
it's difficult to do that.
He's been that dude. He's been that dude, though.
He's been. But people do not see.
Yeah, but also this one is a little bit different, because he's in a very different pocket than a Mr. Beast, and he is. So again, right, it's a good example of someone who has far less subscribers, but maybe just as much impact, because people really.
I would maybe say even more too.
Exactly, I would agree, because people for real watch this dude's videos and say, okay, I'm gonna buy this phone that costs $1,200. Because you made a video that said, and he's talked about it himself, where he said, yo, people watch my videos and go buy very expensive things. So I can't play around.
Companies die if he gives a bad review.
That's not entirely true. That's exaggerated.
Companies fall off when he gives. They
take a hit. They take a hit.
They were already on their way down, but
his reviews matter. His reviews matter
from him.
If you're a smaller thing, his reviews do matter. Yes.
A bigger thing, no. But a specific product can flop.
They don't invite him to those places for no reason.
Yes.
They invite him to the places, and I agree. But when you're at that level, the expectations also for you are very different.
Yeah, you cannot come with a simple
That's why
thing.
I'm saying, like, the first thing my reaction when I heard this was like, not Marcus. Like, like somebody else.
Not
Somebody
Marcus.
else, fine, but not Marcus. No. We put you at a much higher. This just sounds like some rinky-dink shit. This sounds like some fucking Twitch streamer would put out some nonsense like this.
It does.
This is even the concept. Even though you're telling me people care about phone wallpapers, I don't know if this communicates people that care about phone wallpapers.
There is.
But even then, it sounds cheap.
You know what this sounds like to me? Somebody making their first app. Like
even why? There's so many ways you could have gone about this.
Yeah,
you're so respected in this space. I remember when he was on the Andrew Schultz podcast, and they asked him like, "Yo, have you ever thought about doing like a collab with Apple and do like an Apple iPhone? Maybe that's a little too high." But he could have definitely worked with one of these other smartphone companies.
He could have worked with a Samsung or a Huawei or
even
whatever.
With them,
like that.
probably he could have done like a MKBHD.
He doesn't.
Why don't you do that? This would have made you more money. Or why not phone cases?
He does phone cases with D brand.
Okay, there we go.
No, he does do a couple of those things. Dude released his own shoe at some point. You saw that, I think.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, these type of things.
I think what he's trying to do here is have more of a business that perpetually can go on. Again, Mr. Beast chooses YouTube is my only place, and that's where I mainly focus. And then he has ancillary stuff around it. I think MKBHD is trying to do the same thing. I have YouTube as my main thing. He has multiple channels there, and he's trying to do businesses outside of that. Like Mr. Beast has those Feastables bars and everything. He's maybe trying to do the shoes and all that kind of stuff, and maybe now he's thinking, okay, I'm going to do this app, and then you have wallpapers and that. And what he said as well, what he would like to do is add more stuff to it. That's why he wants to do the price at that high so that later you can add. But it's just not a good look. Everything about how he did it was just horrible. But I also blame the people to a degree. It's a panels. It's a wallpaper app. You cannot expect too much from that. Like this is, I agree.
I can if you're charging me $50 a month, my guy.
But
that's
you can
ridiculous.
Use it for free. There's a level. I fully agree.
No, stop.
I fully agree. But there's also at some level you need to stop.
There's some top 1% OnlyFans girls you can subscribe to for less for that money.
Why you always do this?
Crazy.
Why you always do this?
$50 for pictures. What? I don't know. I'm a different type of. I don't know what people care about things I don't care about.
People be caring about shit a little bit too much. But yeah.
So then there's ads in the
Yeah, so that's the situation, but it reminded me of what we were talking about with shits and gigs, but also with Mr. Beast, because it's just in the long line of these things happening. All these influencers are trying to step to a degree either out of the bubble or are being exposed for being a certain way, and it's just getting to them. The people are realizing these shits are companies, or they're realizing they're not influencers are not realizing they should be companies and hitting walls everywhere. And I think we're going to the point, like at some point, big thing, maybe we should not just leave it there and maybe we talk about it another time. The fact is that we had these TV companies handling everything. They were the funnel to having shows and making celebrities and everything like that. We don't have that anymore. There's a layer that these people don't have, and that is just we talked about it with music as well, a kind of A&R situation. You need to be trained in this shit, and all that shit is not there.
Shits and gigs, obviously amateurs. I don't know, man.
No, but MKBHD could have been told, yo, you can do this, but do it a different way.
I hold him in a higher regard. He should have known better.
I think
he's always poised. He's always on point.
I think his team might be. I think he's getting a lot of people, and he needs to make a handbook like Mr. Beast does, so he can think about shit a little bit.
Something must be going on. Some girl or something. Something has to be.
Honestly, I've never.
He's always on point.
Yeah, he's
always on point. He's always, his responses are good. He does interviews. He's always very professional. I always like the way there's something really cool about seeing a guy like that. They're just always sort of.
I respect the dude majorly. I'm kind of done with the topic.
Even
already,
when people give him shit, the way he handles it, the way he responds, when people were giving him shit for apparently have canceled, because that's why I pushed back on that when Humane AI put out the pin and he did a bad review of it, and people were saying that he was the reason that it was failing. It was, and he responded to it, but even the response was done with such.
He's very good in all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah.
So this just seems like, has he responded to this yet?
Yeah, he has been tweeting about it and everything. He's been responding, like saying, "Hey, you guys, like, yes, the 50 was a little bit exorbitant. We need to change that." He said the ad permissions on the phone thing were a mistake because the ad networks that he's using for the ad supported version were asking for too much, and he's gonna change that. Like, he's updating it in real time. Like, he's doing the proper thing. He's responding in the right way.
All right, thank God.
The best way, I honestly think he's doing very good by not making a video about this. Maybe he will, but I don't think he should. Wait, update the app.
Update the thing. Fix it first.
Fix the app.
And then later.
Come back like, yo, yes, we thought about it. It's $3 or $10 or whatever. Like, whatever.
No, we can't be canceling the markets now. Come on.
No, Marquez.
Can't be doing that.
No, Marquez.
No.
Did you see that dude won? He's doing that ultimate frisbee shit. Random. You see, he does the ultimate frisbee thing, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, he's a professional player in that. Dude won the World Cup in that shit.
For ultimate frisbee?
Yeah. This motherfucker is an elite.
This dude's a G. This
dude is an elite athlete. Multiple teams. Plays in New York and for the American team for ultimate frisbee. Then does the YouTube shit on the side. Sells a shoe. Does an app there. Blah blah.
He's a fucking man. He's the man.
Yeah, he's a G.
Yeah.
He just like certain shit doesn't work out for you always, and it's a mistake.
But everyone make fucking major corporations also fuck up. Also make mistakes.
Shits and gigs, for example. I hope that they get through this and that they still
don't want to see anyone fail, but it's not looking good.
No, it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
I've been on some Reddit thread. They are cooking. They are joking now. Like, it's memes. Like, they're being cooked, dude.
But
they call this dude Budget Bridgerton.
Yo,
they're cooking them, dude. They're going absolutely crazy.
Why budget? That's sick. Budget,
I mean, there's a longer. Now we're pivoting back and forth a little bit, but there's been a lot of frustration about how Black women are treated on the internet already, and I think it's just being fully unleashed.
They're the latest one to.
I think it's just been built up and it's just being unleashed on these dudes, and it is what it is. They're stupid. The way they handle this shit was. I'm sorry. It's fuckery. It's fuckery. So it is what it is.
We have been recording for a while. Let's get into the last two.
Oh yes.
Quickly. Maybe this one doesn't have to be that long.
No.
The thing that I wanted to talk about, and I mentioned to you before, and I showed you a video about it before, is Meta. Meta has released a couple of new things. They had a new conference, just like Apple has. They have a conference every once in a while where they show new things, and they showed something incredibly interesting and cool and insane. They showed an actual artificial reality glasses concept that
it's not for sale.
Seems like it would work and seems like legit. The only thing is it's not for sale because what I saw, and I'm going to say allegedly, but what I saw or what I read is that each one of these units costs $10,000 to build, and that is not including all the research and development that has happened before. So it is too expensive to sell, but Zuckerberg said that he expects one of these glasses eventually to go down in price in a couple of years to the same price of a smartphone at some point. But those glasses can basically be used as tiny computers or phones where you could do anything you could do on a phone, but then have that in the environment around you and you could see it, you can walk up to it, and eventually I would assume you could do the same thing as with the Vision Pro where you could walk around a 3D model and do all kinds of cool shit with that. So it's super cool, super insane. It's basically science fiction a little bit that they already built. They're the first one to show it in some kind of way actually working and looks actually functional. It is a demo that people have seen.
So help me walk through this. So
cool.
You have the Apple Vision Pros out, right? You have the Oculus Rift. What is the key difference here? Is that this would be more portable?
Two things. It looks and it is the form factor of actual
normal glasses.
It's a bit thicker. It's a little bit bulkier, but not much more so that you would say, oh, this is a headset. It's still a pair of
because
glasses.
the Apple Vision Pro is really like a thing on your face. It's like, okay.
It rests on your face.
You wouldn't just, you can see through it, but you wouldn't go walk outside like a normal person with that. But this one you would more likely be.
Basically, like if you would walk with this down the street, it would be like you were having a thicker pair of glasses, and people would say, oh, that's fashion. That's not necessarily that you're wearing something crazy technology-wise. The second part of this is it is truly see-through. So even if it's off, you can see through it and see what's happening in real life.
Oh, yeah. Whereas the Apple Vision Pro, you have to switch it on. It sort of gives you...
Apple Vision Pro gives you a video feed.
A video feed of what
real life. It is nearly identical, but it's a video feed.
Mm.
So it is actually VR, but they augment it or make it feel like it's AR.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference. That's why this is actually super interesting and nearly, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it's just hella interesting because this has been done in certain ways already before. What they have done now is just smart and cool and shows that within a couple of years, this could be with people in some kind of manner and fashion. So that is super cool. The interesting thing for me is, and that's my personal opinion on bringing this, it's super cool that Meta is doing this, but it's also super sad that Meta is doing it. I would like any other company to do this, and I would be a little bit happy. Because Meta is Meta. Meta is a resource. With resource, I mean your personal data, hungry company.
Like all the other ones.
But yes, like all the other ones, but they have shown time and time again that they are horrible at dealing with your information. Oh, bring it.
It's not true.
Bring it.
It's look. What concrete examples do you have? So they use your data, right? They have terms and conditions, right? They have all sorts of things that you have to agree to, just like all the other tech companies do, and they use it to show you ads. How is this different than any other?
I have no problem with that part. I have the problem with every time you grab a bunch of people's data, that shit leaks. It goes through a Cambridge Analytica or some kind of other situation.
The Cambridge Analytica again. That's a long time ago. It happened once. You guys won't let the Cambridge Analytica
that
thing
didn't
go.
happen once. Multiple of these kind of situations happened to them. See, the fact that you're going like this is not already...
Dude, they just announced that there was like a massive leak at Google and all their fucking shit is... What are you talking about? Like, this, it's tech. You run this risk, right? These companies, they do their best. They do what they can.
For me, the second thing is you have this dude, Mark Zuckerberg, who...
people need to leave Zuck alone. He's living his best life.
No, he's doing better.
Let him do his thing.
He doesn't look like a robot anymore. He still looks a little bit AI-ish, but not robot. So he's doing better. But you have this dude who I would say he doesn't seem like the most sociable. I don't know him, but that's the perception. And your obsession with social is worrying to me.
Explain.
Why do you want to regulate people's social life, online life? He wants, like...
Who says he wants to regulate
That is what he wants.
This is a reach. This is a reach. Because he's running a social network?
No, he said multiple times, I want to be I want my platforms to be your social online life. In different words.
That doesn't mean he wants to regulate it.
That's the same thing.
No, Jeff, it's not. That's not it.
You want to be in control of that shit.
No.
You want to be the only place.
That's not fair.
You want to be the only place where I can talk to my family members or friends.
That's a crazy reach. It's not.
Why would you make a social network otherwise?
Okay. Jeff feels very strongly about this.
I'm asking questions. And we're not going to spend too long on this.
Yeah, but you're reaching, though. He wants to be the number one. It's like, come on. This is like Netflix saying, well, we want to be the number one place for entertainment. Yeah, okay. You're a company that provides streaming service for entertainment. He wants to be the number one platform that where people socialize because it's a social network. So that doesn't mean I'm trying to control That means that I'm trying to give you all the things you want to do. I want to be able to provide you to be able to do on my platform.
When you say I want to be,
and I mean, I want to control whether you socialize with certain people or not with other people, or how you socialize. I mean, I want to control it.
To me, that's
not. That would be control. Would be saying, would be saying like I want to push more a liberal based stuff and put down more conservative based stuff. Now you're controlling how people communicate, right? Or
but that's what the company is doing in different manners. They are saying, hey, we're taking all, because they have said that in policies, and that's what their policies are now. We're taking more political stuff out. We're devaluing.
Who made them do that? Who made them do that? They did it themselves. That's not true. The government made them do that. See, you need to stop.
They did it themselves.
Yeah.
Because you could just leave that shit.
They leaked it. No. It leaked that the Biden and Harris administration pushed them to take certain things out. Come on. Like, this is, they've been under pressure from the government the entire time for the political stuff. So they've said, okay, you know what? We're going to take it all down. Because because
you have a platform. You have a platform where you allow fucking countries to be deregulated on, for countries to go, for people to get harassed on and hold genocide.
So I'm not controlling it. I'm not controlling. That's what happens when they don't control it. So then they said, if we can't control it,
because you're promoting, you're pushing certain shit.
We're not pushing anything. That's not true. We're not pushing anything. What people follow is what works. This is the same thing with this TikTok. Well, TikTok's actually different. TikTok actually they try and push certain things.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm agreeing.
Where there's engagement is what works. So if there's certain content that's fucked up that comes to the forefront, we like to blame it on the company. But I don't think that from a company and profit motive perspective, that even makes sense. Why would I push shit that people don't want to watch? It only works because y'all motherfuckers keep watching it. So that's why it comes up. So then they said, we can't prevent it. They started blocking some of that offensive stuff because they know that they can prevent it from that if they allow it, people will watch it. So then they said, we'll take all the political stuff out so that we don't have to account for why more people are watching conservative shit versus liberal or vice versa. That's a government that's making them do that. If they just left it, you would see all sorts of shit come up.
Run your shit better. Because
That's controlling. Now you're controlling.
No. There's some basic shits you should be doing, and they're not doing it.
Like what?
Like making sure that certain shit doesn't go awry on your platform.
Like what?
Like fucking genocide being promoted by.
So you want me to control it?
I want you to make sure that certain shit doesn't happen to a degree.
Which means control.
Yes, to a degree.
Well, I thought you just said that was the problem. You see,
but that's also the problem. That's also the problem. Because why is your mission? And I know why it's happening, and it's because Apple did it first with that phone. Why is your mission to be the new iPhone? Because you don't like other places controlling your platform with their rules. You want to be able to set your own rules and your own things,
of course,
whatever like that. Why is that? Like that's the main reason why Zuck is spending so much money on this VR AR shit, on this metaverse idea.
Yes.
He wants to be able to control or be in charge of the metaverse. He wants
the
to
form factor. He wants to be in control of. He doesn't. I
don't think it's just the form factor.
He doesn't have the hardware.
He wants to be the social. He wants you to be your social life, because that's how he makes money. And I understand that.
If we're talking about the glasses, it's specifically he does.
It's not only it's everything attached, but yes.
Yeah, well, he's the software. He doesn't have the hardware. He doesn't have the app store.
He wants to be the app store.
And exactly, so that he can control what he can do with his app.
Yeah.
Because now what he can do with his app is controlled by another company.
Because
where's the confusion?
And that other company is trying to block you from doing certain shit. And not only that other company, 2 other companies are trying to block you from doing certain shit with your app. Because what you're trying to do with your app is foul to a degree.
Like what? Like what is he trying to do with the app that's foul?
You're trying to take so much information from people and trying to use it in ways that
you should have to advertise.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it all in that way.
I shouldn't advertise.
I'm not saying all the way. You can advertise and you should advertise.
I don't know details.
Like, I understand.
I don't know details. I think people just like to say, he wants to take all your info. I have no evidence that Meta takes more info or particular kinds of info that other companies don't take. I think this is such a reach. I think they got a bad rep because of the Cambridge Analytica thing, and ever since then they've been trying to duck that stain and they haven't been able to duck it. But I see no evidence that it's actually true.
For me, them not being able to duck it says a lot, because it should be a duckable thing. I think.
Things happen. You get a stain on your name because some fucking.
Yeah, but it should be duckable. Like it's like
No.
Google has had so many of these kind of things, and they have been able to duck.
They had nothing to do with the election of Donald Trump.
They had Google's Google. Of course, they
hold
had.
on. There wasn't a story that went around the whole world that says that basically the reason that this guy that half the world hates was elected because of you. Yes. Like that didn't happen. That's something that's hard to shake.
That will not happen.
I'm just saying, and maybe there's some techie people out there that know more than I do. I have no evidence that from what I hear, TikTok is worse in terms of taking info from you and using it for all sorts of fuckery.
Look.
So
there's a little bit of hypocrisy in this. Like, yes, all these platforms are bad. Like the same scrutiny I give to a Meta, I give to a Google. I should give to a TikTok. Yes. To X, whatever. All these platforms are asking too much, but that is also part of the whole idea of ads as your business model. Having ads as your business model is profitable, I know, and that's why they're doing it. But I feel like you should not be able. You should not, but they are. You should not be able to survive that way. They are, and I'm giving them their props for doing it, and they're going to keep doing it. I'm not going to be able to stop them.
So then now, would you pay for Instagram?
No.
Okay, then fuck off. See,
wait, for Instagram?
This is my problem with you people. Because then how else? So no ads. You shouldn't have ads, but you wouldn't pay for the app.
I would pay for a private.
Which they gave you the option in Europe, by the way. You can pay and then you don't get ads.
I would pay for a private platform. Just my guys, my peoples. And we just can talk amongst ourselves in there. I don't need, and I don't really follow other shit.
Jeff is pushing two ideas.
Yeah.
Business models.
Yeah. That I've always like my thought was this ad supported business at some point will run out. Maybe it will take forever for it to run out. But
it's not gonna run out because people don't want to pay for stuff on the internet.
But people are gonna at some point, or a certain group of people are not gonna be happy with the fact that how shit is being handled or how it's going or how they are giving away some of their information or whatever. So I would not be surprised if a certain section, maybe big enough, maybe small, will go into so-called private networks where they would pay a little fee and then they can use like a network or an Instagram, a Twitter, or a TikTok version where it's only amongst their peoples, their peers, their trusted people, and then they can talk amongst each other. It will be the ultimate bubble, which is not ideal, but it would be like it would be a happier place for them.
I don't think people are willing to pay.
I don't know. The reason why I don't think people are willing to pay, and now we're getting back to the topic we talked about before.
You always see tremendous backlash when you ask people to pay for things that at first to them were free, because it's in their head it's the same thing. I'm paying for something that was for free.
Yeah. So people.
That's the problem. Elon tried this with X. They pay for the blue check. People lost their shit. So I'm not paying for shit.
Now it's platform.
Not true. Doing numbers. Doing numbers.
I'm not doing that. But all that to say, these fucking glasses they made are hella cool, and I hope that another company does an equally cool job. Then I don't have to buy a Meta version. The only thing that I like about this whole situation with Meta doing this is competition. I like the fact that this is happening. These shits, the video you saw, I don't know what you think, but I thought it was like awesome that they were able to do it. I understand it is super expensive. As much as I am shitting on Meta, I would get them to try them out, probably. But I would also want another company to do it so that we have a proper fight and they try and make it better and smaller and eventually get there. But yeah, this shit is awesome. And I think as much as Zuckerberg, I feel like his intentions are off, I do think he has the right idea in the sense of this will be the thing after the smartphone to a degree. It will either be that artificial reality thing, or it will be in a wearable like a smartwatch or whatever.
Well, it's a combination, right? Because they also had the wearable.
Yeah, but I feel like the wearable would be a screen that could be like the Apple Watch or the Google Watches, where you could do the whole phone operation on the watch. I think that is a wave, or that's something where people would be going.
Because it's too small. That's
yes,
where the glasses be. You have more range of
But that's why
vision.
the combination would be amazing. But I do feel like some kind of view, because some kind of quick view that on here, because the whole idea of augmented reality and seeing notifications and screens the whole damn time gives me also like fucking headache of thinking about, oh, I'm sitting here talking to you and I will just see a bunch of screens there. I don't like that.
That's what they said.
But
in
I
the
would,
thing, right?
I would like
the guy was talking to someone and the screen just came in and blocked his view. And was like,
that I would not want.
Annoying.
I would want something like a watch where I would see, hey, you have a notification, and then I can go to my screen and then open that notification if I would want to. The combination would be perfect. But the idea of this and the idea of cool or futuristic and the possibilities, this in combination with AI, which I also saw, we saw in the Verge video, that seems like a good use case for AI, like way more than I ever thought, actually. So yeah, that would be all cool. And you have any thoughts on the
no,
thing?
I agree. Yeah. We'll see where they take it. Mark's doing his thing, man. Let him cook. Let Mark cook. Stop hating.
No. Until Mark can really prove that he and his company are doing better.
Oh, please.
I will not. I will be hating. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. We were the Three Angry Men. I'm Jeffrey.
Oliver.
You can find us on YouTube. We have not set up a clips channel yet, but we will.
Yeah.
We're going to try out Twitch streaming at some point. When we do that, we will inform you, and you can watch us live, hopefully. You can find us